The new Education Secretary has finally said something about the SEND reform plans, and it's definitely not what you want to hear. The article says that she is under pressure to row back the SEND reform plans. She signalled she will not do that, but accepts it's creating worry and anxiety for many parents. She thinks we just need more reassurance. She says we can reassure them because this is about tilting the system so you don't have to fight tooth and nail, that you get much earlier help. Of course, there are some major problems with that statement. The current law sets out the things that children and young people with SEND are legally entitled to. Too often we do have to fight tooth and nail to actually get it, because despite these legal rights, the law is often not followed. Local authorities and schools simply don't have the funding, the resources, the capacity to actually follow the law. The SEND reform plans intend to take many of those legal rights away. The idea that the system will just give children exactly what they need without a fight when there is no legal requirement to do so is an utter fantasy. And early help is only a tiny part of the problem. It has to be the right help. If it's not, it's a waste of time, resources, money, and a period of that child's education that they will never get back. I made this table, how the system would change from how it is now to how it would be under the proposals. And so many of those changes make it more difficult to get the right help, the individual support that they need, that you can appeal at tribunal if it's wrong or it's not working. The actual provision a child is entitled to day to day will be in a non-statutory document that you cannot appeal to tribunal, which means there will be no way to fight it. Their plans require the system to work perfectly, exactly as they intend it, 100% of the time, and that is incredibly unrealistic given how much pressure they are going to put on schools and teachers, with nowhere near enough funding to make sure it actually happens. We are worried and anxious because we know that these plans will not work, that our children will be failed, and that's not just bad for our children and for us, it's bad for the country, the economy, society. And we know that Lucy Powell understands the risks of taking away these legal rights. She was on the Education Select Committee when they did this inquiry in 2019, which found that the law is exactly what it should be. The government must resist the temptation to take the legal rights away or change the law. That would do harm. Instead, they just needed to fund and implement the law and hold local authorities accountable. None of that happened. I guess we'll have to see if she's had a change of heart for some reason. Parents don't want to have to fight for the right support, but they need to be able to do so. If you take away the right to do so, children are going to be failed, and it will worsen all of the problems that the government is concerned about. How many young people are out of education, employment, or training, or reliant on disability benefits? The government should be able to see that we want the same things. They don't seem to see that. That's why we are asking everyone to sign the petition to protect the existing legal rights of disabled children. Without them, we may have less of a fight, simply because we won't be able to fight it.